tell you a little bit about what's on my mind today. So it starts out with Bereshit in Genesis chapter 45, verse 3, and Yosef says, Ani Yosef, I am Yosef. Can you imagine? Shocks his brothers. I am Yosef. But then he says, is my father still well? That's the first time he ever asked about his father in 22 years. But his brothers couldn't answer him because they were dumbfounded. They're standing there like, what? Who? What? That? You know, can you imagine? We just said this before. Because they couldn't believe it. Here they thought he might be dead by now. Here he's very much alive. And he's asking if his father's alive. Here I am. Oh my God. Anyway, since October 7th, anti-Semitism in New York City, just New York City, has risen 85% over the month before. 85%. Anti-Semitism is already the number one form of bigotry in this country. It already was. And it rose 85% in 1 month in New York City alone. But it's also risen in similar numbers in Jewish communities from the Atlantic to the Pacific. And as support for Israel has rapidly dropped, the American left now is dipping below 15%.
15?
So below 15, below 50%, not 15, 50.
Oh.
Below 50%, the American left. This is stuff that you can readily find. I didn't create these numbers. A lot of it comes from the FBI and a lot of it comes from different pollsters and so on. But less than half of the American left now supports Israel. More and more Jews are being verbally and physically attacked. Jewish facilities are being defaced and desecrated with swastikas and anti-Zionist tropes. Where is the outrage from anybody? Who's complaining? I don't hear anything. Does anyone even care? Imagine, God forbid, if this were to happen to the Black community, the Hispanic community, or the LGBTQ2 plus communities. Imagine if it happens to one of them. The whole place would be outraged. The whole place.
Right.
There might even be protests in the streets and burning buildings. No, the Jews are being just terrorized all over the place. Nobody says boo. Also, since October 7th, every Shabbat, a growing number of U.S. synagogues, with last Shabbat alone, just last Shabbat, one day in this country, over 400 synagogues received bomb threats.
Oh my God.
400 synagogues last Shabbat received bomb threats. Sometimes I'm kind of glad we're in the situation we're in. We don't have to worry about that. Not one of them proved real, but every threat has a high cost. Why? It comes both financially and psychologically. First, there has to be a building-wide evacuation. Just imagine being deep in personal prayer and being shocked by a loud and panicked order to evacuate. Then, when we're a safe distance away, we dial those 3 digits, 911. Then the police and the bomb squad come and they inspect the building for any sign of actual explosive devices. That's expensive, and it's psychological terrorism. These terror threats, likely dialed from an untraceable burner phone, are a lot more than simple annoyances. They can be devastating to a synagogue. We rarely find out who is responsible for these calls, but after a previous rash of bomb threats in 2017, we found out who the culprit was. It was a young Israeli man with serious mental health issues, a Jewish guy. This was back in 2017. So we all know that things are much different this time around. We all know that these bogus threats are the work of Jew haters. We all know that these threats are meant to destabilize and weaken us as a people, to be afraid to go out in public and say we're Jews. I find it sad and pathetic that there are millions of people out there who would do such a thing. And they could be dialing in from anywhere in the world by using readily available technology to easily spoof a local number. Sometimes we get phone calls, all of us, dialing for who knows what, dialing for dollars. And we see it's a local number, but when they talk, it's not. It's from India or China or wherever they're from, using a fake number. Anyway, a bomb threat from a stranger is the opposite of what happened today in Shabbat's Torah reading. There was a bomb dropped in today's Torah reading. And this week, it was what Yosef did to his brothers when he said, Ani Yosef, I am Yosef. Is my father okay? He exposed to them that he is the brother whom they sold into slavery long ago. Like bomb threats that we have, that was a bomb. Boy, it sure caused confusion. The Midrash Rabbah describes the brothers' confusion as a reaction to their inner sense of guilt over what they did to Yosef. In other words, they didn't know what to say. They felt so guilty. What did we do? Oh my God. And it also suggests that their confusion pales in comparison to that what may be waiting for us. Woe unto us from the day of judgment. Woe unto us from the day of rebuke. Joseph was the youngest of the tribes, and they were unable to withstand his rebuke. And it says in our Torah reading, and his brothers could not answer him because they were dumbfounded on account of him. Think of the contrast between a bomb threat from a Jew hater that should not give us any feeling of guilt or confusion. That's the difference. When Yosef said to his brothers, hey, I'm Yosef, they had a sense of guilt because they did something very wrong. I got a question for you. What did we do wrong? Do we have any reason to be guilty other than we were born Jewish or we converted to Judaism? I don't know. We didn't do anything wrong. Sure, we have people who did bad things, guys like Epstein, Madoff, and the like, but Weinstein. But as a people, no, we didn't do anything. So unlike Yosef's brothers in this week's Torah reading, we have done nothing that would make us deserving of such criminal terrorism. Nothing. If you can think of something, please let me know. I have no idea what we did or didn't do that would cause this. So instead of weeping with confusion and panic, we should react exactly as the authorities have told us to act. These threats almost never turn out to be real, but we should not ignore them. We must not take the risk of ignoring them. We must take them seriously. You never know. There could be 400, 4,000, 10,000 threats, all fake. All you need is one to be real. The threats are meant to make us cower and beg our enemies to forgive us for the sin of what? Of being a Jew. That's it. Not for anything we did other than becoming Jews, born or converted to. The forces amassing against us want us to whine and say, we're not like those Jews over there. We're different. Don't take it out on us. No. They're going to have to wait a long time because we are all Jews. We are proud of those Jews over there. And yes, we are like them. Yes, we all make mistakes. All of us. We do things wrong. But as a people, we should be proud to be Jews. There's no thing, nothing, no possible thing that anyone could think of that should take our pride away of being Jews. We must remain proud to be Jews, and we must be emboldened by Israel's actions. And with that, I'd like to say Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.